Good morning, everybody. Greetings. On behalf of the Los Angeles County Office of Education, I'm honored to welcome you to our 4th annual CTE Middle School Symposium. And I'm so pleased that we're gathered today. We have all experienced a level of separation over these last months. And so I feel more than ever, we have the need to connect and network as we reopen and we rejuvenate our staff, our faculty, our parents, and our students. So I'm so thankful for all the presenters and all of you that have decided to attend and who are here today with the common goal of learning more about how we can inspire and prepare our middle school students for high school, college, and all the careers that they have ahead of them in the future. I'm just really excited about all the news that we've heard, all the positive changes that are coming around, and how everybody is just embracing this our new world, because they say it's not going to be like it used to be. So it almost makes it exciting. This exceptional event was developed especially for you. And I want to give a special shout out to Dr. Newton and our CTE team for working so hard and making this happen. And I know that she's going to be thanking everyone else. So before I blow it all and say too much, I'm going to let Dr. Newton just take it away. It's all yours.
All right. Thank you, Raina. Thank you, Raina. And we are going to start with just some housekeeping and some going over a couple of things here with you. So can everyone see my screen? Give me a thumbs up or a head nod. Yes. Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. Let's look at the agenda for today, what we have in store for you. Now, this special morning edition of our CTE Middle School Symposium. And again, this is the 4th annual one. We are going to start with this. We have our welcome. And then we're going to move into a live stream coming from Parowan Middle High School, all the way from Cedar City, Utah. So we are spanning the globe here, if you will. We have our breakout rooms that are coming up a little later. We've got 3 outstanding breakout room presentations that we're inviting you to attend. And then we're going to take a little break so we can stretch, move around. And then we're going to come back with a presenter panel discussion Q&A to answer any of those lingering questions that you may have had, to address your comments, your aha moments, and some of your wonderings. And then we are going to close for the morning session. This morning session is particularly geared towards the administrators. So for those of you who are out there and you're looking at your whole CTE program and how you can move forward with it, this is especially for you. So the objectives are 4-fold. So take a look at these and find yourselves within them. Where does it fall of your need? What are your challenges? What are the areas of success that you'd like to address, that you'd like to improve upon? And we're bringing that to you this morning. So we're going to prioritize, we're going to identify, we're going to look at some CTE middle school funding sources. I think that's one of the biggest questions that I get. I really want to do this pathway. I really want to move forward with this, but where's the money? How does this work with Perkins and middle schools? What other grant fundings are available out there? So we're going to take a look at those in one of the breakout rooms. There are a couple of norms here that I'd like to just remind everyone of, and some of these are just, we've been Zooming for so long, some of these are just old hat, we just know them. Others of them are just a little bit new. So again, to please remain muted. This is being recorded, just so you know. And to use the monitored chat for your questions and comments. We've got folks on board who are paying attention to those, who are going to share those out. So please make that available. There's also in the chat a special notation from our division secretary, Sylvia Alva, about your breakout room assignments. So scroll back in the chat a little bit and take a look at that. If you haven't already, I just encourage you, and this is from our IT department straight to you and to myself, to upgrade to the latest version of Zoom. It really won't affect anything that we're doing here today, but it's always great. And my understanding is that Zoom updates about maybe once or twice a week. And so to fully take advantage of all of the ins and outs that Zoom provides, just to remind you to do that. No, I'm not getting a kickback from Zoom. This is just our own personal professional experience of what works and what doesn't. And this seems to be something that really helps. Now, here's the great part about all of this. This recording, the PowerPoint, as well as our May CTE newsletter is going to be mailed or emailed to you, I should say. Now, housekeeping, here's one little caveat that I would like everyone to pay note to and to take a moment to do. We're going to ask, for the sake of efficiency and effectiveness, to please rename yourself, and I have a little example here in the corner, according to your breakout room selection. Again, rename yourself according to your breakout room selection. So I will go in and I will do an example. You see me here. And now you see my name just changed, and I have the number 2 in front, stating that that's the breakout room that I'm requesting to be moved to. So if you'll take a moment to do that, Raina, thank you. I see yours there. And just do that. And when I say that's going to really help with the logistical parts of moving and shaking, that's going to be a huge, huge help. So if you'll rename yourselves, and there, we'll have constant reminders to do this so that everyone is on the same page. Crystal, thank you. Jacqueline, Kimiana, thank you. I see Buzz, you got it. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. And be sure to put it in the front. Janet, thank you. I see you're number 1. Steve, number 3. I got you. Nicole. Yes, yes, yes. Much appreciation. Laura, Douglas. So this is one of those housekeeping types of things that we have to take care of to make sure that this flows seamlessly. And as you've all been privy to in Zoom calls, seamless is not really a word that you always associate with Zoom. So we want to try to lessen that learning curve there and to move forward. All righty, again, that information is in the chat if you're wondering which breakout room that you're going to attend. We have 15 industry sectors that are represented on this call, and find yourselves in here. And as we go through the presentations today, think about how and where this can apply to your particular pathways, and look at what it is that we can do and how it is that we can help you to move forward. We have 11 elements of a high quality CTE program. The ones that you see highlighted here are the ones that we are particularly focusing on this morning. So we're looking at a high quality curriculum and instruction program, career exploration and guidance, particularly that we're in middle school now, systems alignment and coherence, skilled faculty and professional development, and lastly, and of course, got to keep the word out there, CTE promotion, outreach, marketing, and communication. So on that note, I think we have addressed the housekeeping and the norms. Again, a reminder to please rename yourselves according to the breakout room that you're interested in. I still see a few of us that have not done that. Yvette, thank you. Evelyn, thank you. Carolyn, great job. And so please be sure. Melissa, wonderful. Joshua, wonderful, wonderful. All righty. So again, thank you for being here on this morning from Southern California, sunny Southern California. We are about to take a little road trip now, and we are going to head over to Cedar City, Utah. Now, I don't know how many of you all on the call have been to Utah before, or that whole Montana, Idaho, those areas over there. I had the privilege of going whitewater rafting last year. Beautiful country, absolutely beautiful country. And as Raina was sharing at the very, very beginning, you know, things have changed. We've all had to adapt one way or another. And this is one particular school that has done just that. So without any further ado, I am going to hand the mic over, if you will, to Roland Bud Johnson, who is VP of Sales and Marketing with Paxton.
Just let me know when we're ready.
We are here and thanking you for another opportunity to partner. And so, Bud, take it away, sir.
All right, well, we're here with the principal of the school, Kim Bailey, and he's going to welcome you to the school. Then we're going to walk inside.
So thanks for spending time with us. My name is Mr. Bailey, as was explained. We just want to welcome everyone from Paxton Patterson here to our school today. Sorry, there's the bell. Yeah, this is live. So we just want to welcome everyone to Parowan High School. Again, this is Parowan, Utah. Just follow me. We'll go inside.
Guys, I'm just going to take a silent roll here right now while you're doing your business. Enjoy your modules and ignore the people with cameras. Unless they talk to you, right? You guys are going to be just fine. You got to ignore them here. Good for you.
Greg. And we're going to start with Greg Sanders, the CTE director here in Parowan. And Greg, what was your motivation for selecting Paxton Patterson?
We looked at a lot of different companies. We did an RFP, looked at what was the best fit for our system. And Paxton Patterson really, with the modules and the ability to simulate real world experience in the CTE areas, was far and above, in my opinion, what the other companies that we reviewed. And the capacity to grade and mix with our power school system, it just worked really well. So I mean, it was a fairly easy decision with the RFP that we put out. They met all our requirements. So
what kind of funding did you use?
There was a dropout prevention grant that Utah had put together, and we were looking at different avenues to increase our graduation, and we felt like the dropout prevention, a lot of the students that were dropping out just weren't engaged in the education system for whatever reason. And so we felt like that if we could engage them at a younger age, in their middle school age, in something that would entice them to stay in school, to find that niche, if you will, of if they're loving auto mechanics or if they're loving construction, some hands-on courses that we could retain them, and then we track them through. So we identified specific students that we felt like would be at risk for dropout, and we're trying to track them through their education through high school, and enrolling them in courses at our tech college and within our CTE programs, and really advising them to get in those specific classes of courses that they've sampled in our Paxton Patterson modules that they enjoyed. So that's kind of where we're at.
Very good. Thank you for your comments. You've done a great job of establishing these CTE programs here. I understand you got 5 programs here on campus, right?
Five Paxton Patterson. Yeah. So there's five different labs that we have, 2 other schools, and then there's 3 here in Parowan.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, should we walk around and talk to some students? Okay. Let's go first to the sports medicine unit. And do we have Tate here? You're Tate? Hi, we're with Paxton Patterson. How does this module align with what you may want to do in life?
I don't know. It just shows like the same interests that I like to do, because I play sports and stuff, and it's kind of fun to know how things work and like what to do if something happens. So that's one of them.
And what have you done as far as an activity in this so far?
So we've wrapped ankles that's what I'm gonna be doing right now. We've learned how to stabilize if somebody has a neck injury that we think, and we've also learned how to take a helmet off of an injured player on the field.
Very good. Thank you for those comments. All right, let's move over to robotics. And we have Micah. Hi, I'm Judd. Nice to meet you. Micah, do the things that you are learning in these modules relate to skills that you may need in real life down the road?
Yes, they do, because the robotics industry is growing every day as we expand into manufacturing, household appliances. So robotics, like I said, is spreading every day. So we need someone who's experienced in the robotics field to perform maintenance, development, and to make sure all robotics fields are working properly.
Absolutely. And what's an activity that you're working on right now?
Right now, I'm working on programming this robot here to come around here and collect this crate and withdraw it without touching the walls. Now, the program isn't yet complete. It still has multiple fine tuning that I need to do.
Outstanding. And are you enjoying this class?
Yes, I love this class. This is one of my favorite classes.
Outstanding. Very good. Okay, thank you. I understand we may be back to you in a little bit at pneumatics, huh? Okay, we're going to move to materials processing. And are you Kaylee? Hi, I'm Judd. And I got a question for you. How does this class compare to your other classes?
It teaches you and gives you more of an experience with things that you can learn better than other classes.
Do you like this hands-on stuff better than listening to a lecture?
Yeah, I like the hands-on stuff because it gives you more of an idea of what you're actually doing.
Yeah. What are you working on right here?
I'm gonna be making a screwdriver. So I'm gonna put this mold in here, put some plastic in there, and then make a screwdriver.
Okay, outstanding. Well, thank you. Okay. And we'll move to digital manufacturing. Hi, ladies. Is Talon here? Okay, hi, I'm Judd. Talon, how's this class changed your impression of a career?
This class has changed my impression of a career because it helps me look at them more in depth and kind of helps me see like how you can take what you've learned and kind of figure out what you want to do and where you want to go. And how these careers can how you can follow the career paths to find something that you really enjoy doing.
How many different modules have you done so far?
This was my first one, and I've done 2 in this class and 3 in the other class over there.
Do you have a favorite?
I think it's this one.
Oh, really? And what are you working on?
We're actually making propellers for the drone module in the other class, and we're just kind of sanding it down to size.
So you've got a real world application. There was a propeller that was broken and you're making a new one for it?
Yep, we're making like 4 or 5.
That's outstanding. Doing your own fix-it job right on the fly here, huh? Very good. Well, thank you very much for your comments.
Thank you.
All right. Okay.
So in this classroom, there are 18 integrated instructional units. Might identify those as modules, but it's a very active class. It's obviously reduced class sizes because of COVID-19 restrictions, but we're very grateful that they allowed us in here today.
Research and development. Do we have somebody at the research and development? Okay. Okay, we'll go to the audio.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, very good. Let's ask him a question. Are you Riley? Yeah. Oh, outstanding. I'm Judd. Nice to meet you. Hey, Riley, how does having a hands-on project help you learn?
I feel like it helps you understand how the process actually goes instead of just like thinking about it in your mind. Like a lot of people think of certain things go this way in your head, but then when you actually do it, a lot of things are different and there's a lot of different factors that can change during what you're doing.
Yeah. What day are you on in this module?
Currently, I'm working on day 4.
Day 4. What has been an activity so far?
So far, I'm working on making a dragster, and I'm just about to start soon making a prototype with styrofoam using my templates that I made last time.
Very good. And then do you know what the activities are at the end? Have you looked ahead?
A little bit. I know that I'm going to be making a final project and then testing it and racing it, but yeah.
Yeah, and I understand that at the end of some of the modules, you do a presentation. Have you done a presentation in front of the class before?
Yeah, I was in robotics last time, and so I did a presentation on that.
How did that go?
I thought it went pretty well.
Okay, very good. Well, good talking to you. Appreciate your comments. We'll go over to look at audio. Thanks a lot. Hello. And Addie. Hi, I'm Judd. Addie, how is this class different from your other classes?
It shows you like careers and what you could do in different careers. And in like an English class, you learn reading and writing. But in this class, you learn how to, like, for example, in this one, we learn how to make a news broadcast or a weather report.
Very good. So are you more comfortable now with a microphone in front of you than before?
Yeah.
That's good. And so have you broadcasted to the school out of this module?
No.
No. You don't do that, huh?
Mm-mm.
And what's your favorite module so far?
This one.
Yeah. This audio, huh? Very good. Okay. Well, thank you very much for your comments. And would you like to go to the other class, or do you want to? Pardon me. Yeah, let's go. Okay. So this is a second classroom that they've installed, and we have Devaney Pace as the instructor here. Hi, Devaney.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good. And what do you think are the most important skills that students learn in these classes?
So I think they learn we call them the essential 8 skills. And should I look at you or should I look here? Okay.
I'll get closer
so
here.
We call them the essential 8 skills. So one of those is collaboration. And they use that all the time in these modules. They work with a partner and work together on figuring out the assignments. And then another one they learn is critical thinking. So sometimes they have to say, well, how do I do this? And they figure out something to make it work. And they also learn growth mindset. So sometimes it pushes them past what they already know to learn something new. So we've enjoyed them, and the students have, this class has been doing the modules for 7th grade and 8th grade. So they've been able to do 6 different ones. Well, 5, because sometimes we run out of time, but 5 different career explorations during their middle school years.
That's outstanding. And I guess we're standing right in front of the flight and drone technology unit. And
This is Zach and Braden.
hi, guys.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Good morning. What can you tell me about this module? Who wants to speak first?
I will.
And,
So,
and are you Zach?
yes.
Okay, Zach.
So in this module, we kind of learn about a lot of modern like flight and drone. We learn a lot about the history of it and how some of the things we kind of overthink, like we don't think about as much. And so like drones and stuff, we learn about how they actually are able to generate lift to be able to fly.
And what day are you on in this one?
So right now we are on day 2 and we are working on building our rockets.
And so you put this together with things that come with the module, right?
Yes, I did. We got a paper that had everything we need to build our own rocket.
And when are you going to launch it?
Pretty soon, actually. I just have to finish applying this tape and put on my fins.
Oh, so are you going to do it today?
Possibly.
Oh, outstanding. Okay. And are you enjoying this module so far?
This is a really fun module to do. Like Zach said, we get to make these rockets and we also get to fly these drones around. And one of the things that we get to do is that we place these drone blocks down and we have to program this drone to go to these different drone blocks and come back in a certain amount of time, like Amazon does, and pick up a package to a house and bring it back and forth and everything. So
And have you enjoyed this enough where there's a career down the line that you may want to go into?
yeah.
Okay. Very interesting. And what has been your favorite module so far?
I think this one has been my favorite one so far.
Okay. Outstanding. Computer graphics. All right. Thanks, guys.
So this is Austin and Chloe, and they're working on computer graphics and animation. And this is a program called Movie Storm.
Oh, it's very good. So they're using Movie Storm. And how has this class impacted your impression of careers? Who wants to speak first? Ladies first, or? Okay.
It's really impacted me because I actually get to try out the careers and see how they are instead of just being told like how careers are.
Have you discovered a career that you kind of didn't know existed before?
I didn't know that the hospitality career existed. Like I kind of knew a little bit about it, but once I learned about it, I thought it was pretty cool.
And have you become interested particularly in one career because of the class, or you're still generally searching?
I'm still generally searching, but it really helped me kind of find stuff that I like and I'm interested in.
Have you found anything that you don't like?
I thought I would like veterinary stuff, but I don't really like it as much as I thought I would.
Well, that's a good time to find out, huh? Austin, how about you? How has this changed your impression of careers?
It just kind of makes it so you know what careers interest you and you know what ones don't, and you can kind of get a general idea of what it's like. So it's just kind of impacted me by helping me realize which ones I enjoy and which ones I don't.
Which one do you enjoy the most so far?
I really liked the digital music one, but I did not really like the auto drafting, CAD auto drafting.
And so do you think that you'll pursue a path in digital music?
I don't know. It just depends on if I keep liking it or not.
Okay, outstanding. Well, thanks for your comments, guys. And we're going to go this way.
Over by the arm, we have a nursing module right over here. So this is Blazin and McQuaid. And
Hey, guys.
They're working on the nursing module.
And what can you tell me about this module so far?
So far we've learned how to tie stitches, take blood out of a person's arm. We can check for the heartbeat and the vital signs. And we've learned about a bunch of different diseases, which has been really interesting.
Well, yeah, diseases with the environment right now is pretty on everybody's mind, huh? And do you mind? You didn't faint at the sight of blood, I understand, right?
No, no, sir, I did not.
Okay, that's good. And what are you enjoying about this so far?
I've been enjoying a lot of the things about this module, like what we're doing right now with multiple phlebotomies, like taking blood out of the arm. I've been enjoying doing that. It's pretty fun. And also doing stitches has been pretty fun as well. Being able to tie knots and stuff. It's pretty fun.
Outstanding. And you guys have been through a few modules now. What's your favorite?
I'd say nursing's probably one of my favorites
Very
so far.
good.
Some of my favorites would be nursing and probably the music. I had fun with the music.
A lot of musicians possibly coming out of this class. Very good. Okay, thanks for your comments, guys.
Okay, we'll do digital music next.
Yeah.
So this one, students really enjoy digital music. It has some software on the computer called Mixcraft. And Max and McKay have made a couple of soundtracks with this, so they can talk about that.
Outstanding. So future musicians, perhaps. What can you tell me about this module?
It's pretty fun. I like it mainly because of like the library that it has that you've been able to do, and like with that you're able to like alter sounds and everything and kind of just edit the audio. It's pretty fun.
A little different than a lot of classes, huh?
Yeah.
And what are you enjoying so far?
Yeah, I just like the Mixcraft software because you have a bunch of library options, and yeah, you can make cool songs with it.
Have you looked ahead to see the types of careers that are available in this that come out of this unit?
Yeah, there was a worksheet that we did that described different careers and the money that they do and where training can be found for them.
And do you like this one enough where you may pursue one of those, or you're still?
Be my career, but maybe as a hobby, I would like to do this.
And how about you?
Yeah, it's pretty fun to do it, but like he said, probably not like my job, but it'd be cool to know how to make music.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, guys, thank you very much. And Devaney, I got a question for you. Can you describe a student who may not have done well in some other classes, but who has thrived in this kind of learning environment, this hands-on learning?
Yeah, so hands-on learning gives students an opportunity to use their brain and use their hands at the same time. It's just a way that they enjoy it. It's not sitting at a desk all the time listening or reading. They do have instructions to read, but the activities are what they really enjoy. And that's been great to watch. So all students succeed in our classes.
And did you come out of an environment where you were providing more curriculum and rather than a self-directed program, or is this how you've always taught in a facilitator type of a role?
So before we had the Paxton Patterson modules, it was more of I was teaching and they were doing, but I've always taught with a computer. So my classes have always been hands-on. The Paxton Patterson is really helpful because if a student is not here, they can do the work at home, at least the question parts, and then they can do activities here in the classroom. So I've enjoyed the hands-on as well as the computer work.
Very good. Well, it seems like they stay engaged
They do.
because of the activity part of it. And can we go to the veterinarian? Okay. Okay.
So
hey guys.
this is Cash and this is Chelsea, and they're working on the veterinary module.
Cash and Chelsea. I guess there's two Cashes in this class, huh? How about that? Okay. And what do you do when you don't know the answer to something?
Well, the website on Paxton Patterson, they really show you and they give you videos and photos how to do it, and it's really helpful. So like if you don't know how to do something, you just look at the video one more time and it shows you step by step how to do it, and it shows you on the website how to do it. And so
you've been able to find the answers to most of your questions right there, huh? And do you like working as a team?
Yeah.
Yeah. And which module have you found that you like the best?
Probably this one, the veterinary medicine, because I've learned a lot more about animals.
Yeah, and this kind of area, I would think that there's a lot of need for veterinarians too. So that'll be a great career path. Do you have any modules that you thought you would like that you tried and then in the end you found that you didn't like it as much?
Probably the nutrition and wellness one, just because like I didn't really learn much and it was kind of boring. But yeah.
Okay. And do you see yourself as a veterinarian someday, do you think?
No.
Okay. But this is a good experience to learn this stuff anyhow, huh? How about you, Cash? Where are you heading?
It might be there. I kind of want to be a biologist, so it might be there.
Okay, going down the same kind of a path then. Okay.
I can see you got that needle in your hand. What are you doing with that?
We're doing a venipunctures. So a venipuncture is when you get into the animal's veins and then you take blood out, and it helps when you're like identifying diseases that the dog might have.
Were you about to do that when we came over? Do you mind if we watch you?
So you feel around and you can feel the vein because it bumps when it's a vein. So you put it in at an angle right there, and then you can draw blood. And then after you pull it out, your assistant will wipe it down with alcohol so it doesn't hurt as bad, and it'll heal quicker.
Nicely done. I didn't even hear that dog bark.
Oh yeah.
All right. Okay.
Okay, next we have virtual architecture, and we're going over there. I'll show you where this.
All right, here we go.
Okay, so this is the virtual architecture module, and this is Cody and Amalia, and this computer has a program that they use to design a home, and they also add the furniture and the landscaping. So they're going to talk about this module.
Very good, guys. What have been the projects so far?
As of right now, we're building a house. It's like a design brief we're doing for a family that supposedly hired us to build them this house for them.
And how are you enjoying this module compared to some others? Have you found some other modules that you like? So one of the more fun modules in our selection is video. And Cash is just in the middle of a project here, and he wanted to explain what he's done.
So we get to make a commercial in this module where you can choose. It's like you have a big variety. You can choose anything you want to talk about. But you take this camera in over to the green screen room, and you just record like your commercial and everything you want to do with it. And then you can bring it over here to iMovie on this Chromebook and edit it and choose like any different way you want to do it.
And you mentioned a script.
Oh yeah, so we made a script on our module thing, and you just talk with your partner on how you want to do it and like all your different things. Here's the script paper. So we did over it. We wanted to introduce our bat and then talk about like some of the details of the bat and everything, and then we wanted to show our hitting clips, and then we wanted to finish off with reasons to get the bat.
Okay, outstanding. And you're a baseball player, so you made yours about hitting, huh? Very good. And so what do you like about this class compared to other classes?
This class I like a lot better because it feels like you can learn a lot more. You're doing a lot of hands-on work, and you get to choose with all of these different modules, and you get to go into like careers that help you without your life and all your jobs and everything for when you're older.
Very good. Well, thank you very much for your comments, and good luck with your schooling here.
I want to say just one other thing while we're in here as we just pan this entire lab. This was one that had all their own existing furniture. So this was a lab that was converted to be a Paxton Patterson College Career Lab, and they have done a fabulous job with it. So where we,
So I need to make one more comment. So you can see all of our stuff is out. Most of the time I put it away because I teach all my other classes in here as well. But when students see these activities going on, they're like, oh, I want to try that module next. So they want to try them all and they see what their friends are doing and they want to try it too. So it's fun to let them choose and do which ones they want to do. So
absolutely. Well, let's go over. I see the superintendent's here. Let's go over and say hi to her and get her insights.
All right, I guess.
Hello.
Hi, you made it, huh?
I did. Let me take this off.
First of all, let me say thank you so much for you opening up the school, allowing us to tour these wonderful labs. So, all right.
Glad to have you here.
And just generally, what's your impression of what you're seeing here?
Oh, I love this. I'm all into experiential learning. I know our kids learn better when they get to practice and have hands-on activities. So no, we're grateful for this. I think most of our teachers wish that they had this kind of curriculum, this kind of connection to the subject that happens here in this environment. So we're grateful for it.
Yeah. Well, there certainly is a large need for trades, and students can find out their pathways at a young age. I think that they're a lot better off for it.
Oh, for sure. We know that many of our kids, that they are not headed to a university, four-year university. So to let them see what their options are and let them explore and see what they have an affinity for, I think is so valuable. One of the most valuable things that we do in our district. So thank you.
No doubt. Okay.
Did you have anything else you just wanted to add? What would you tell a superintendent who is considering implementing programs like this?
Why would you not? It's what's best for kids. It's what's best for learning. It's how they learn best when they're engaged in the learning themselves. And so highly recommended. It's been wonderful, especially out here in Parowan. They've just taken off and run with it and are doing such an excellent job.
Thank you very much. They certainly are. And what we said a bit ago, what's beautiful about this is in this room, there are, I think, 15 individual units, each of those addressing 6 to 8 possible careers that could emanate from it. When you add it to the 18 in the other room, there's hundreds of careers these kids are getting a look at, which is helping them to change their lives for the better. Some of them definitely lead to a collegiate experience, degrees in engineering and others, but some of them lead to non-technical, non-degree fields that they will definitely need a post-secondary experience to develop the skill set to be gainfully employed at a great wage. So this has been awesome. There's a CTE director, Greg, here. Greg, you have anything, closing comments for us?
No, well, sure. I think the opportunity to sample different careers I think it's essential in giving these kids opportunities to figure out what they want to do, and if they're liking that before they put a whole bunch of money into a degree, and then figure out that that's something that they don't like. So and we have amazing teachers that are willing to help these students and jump in and learn it with them. And I think that's where the key is making sure that our teachers are the right ones to help these students excel. So I couldn't ask for better teachers than we have here. And the students are great. We were just discussing even students that are maybe not 100% loving school, love this program. So they're coming to this and finding their niche and finding some success in the classroom. So
thank you very much, Greg. And Debbie, thank you very much for allowing us into your classroom. And a special thanks to every one of the students in this classroom. You're awesome. The over 200 adults that are on this live streaming event today have benefited greatly from your insights. So thank you.
I'm glad.
We're going to run over here just for a second.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
All right. Any closing comments, Mr. Edwards?
This has just been a fantastic opportunity. I've been teaching for 25 years, and I am just tickled to be part of these modules that have come out. The curriculum, everything about it is exciting. My kids are excited. I'm excited. It's fun to teach. And there's a lot in teaching right now that's kind of making it tough, isn't there? But not with this. This just feels good, right? And it's flexible.
You know, one of the things that the late Sir Ken Robinson said is the very best learning occurs when the teacher learns alongside the student. And in this environment, I'm sure you've got over 18 or 20 modules in there. You didn't know all of them. And so you were learning alongside the students, I assume.
I am. And, you know, as a technology teacher, I have to keep up all the time. This has been the most fun thing that I've been able to be exposed to. So yeah, it's great.
That's fantastic. I'm going to just jump in here for a second and say goodbye to all the kids.
Hey guys.
I just want to thank you. You all were wonderful. We appreciate it very much. And you can wave bye to the hundreds of educators on this call.
Yeah, don't be nervous.
Yeah.
To the hundreds of people.
All right. Well, Gina, I think we've wrapped it up here. If you want to take control, we'll turn it back over to you.
Well, thank you so much, Bud, for bringing that. Thank you to all the students there that we've seen. And this has been a very fruitful presentation here. And as we close here and move forward, just want to just give a shout out to all of the students that are there. I heard the word excited that was shared at the end there. And that's what it's all about, making the students excited and interested in what it is that they're doing. A couple of things that I just wanted to note on, and again, keep your comments and your questions coming here in the chat. Very much appreciated. I really appreciate the question that Judd brought to the student there when he was saying and asking, you know, is there anything here that you don't like? Have you found something that you don't like? And as we all know, and I share this question when I'm speaking to, you know, folks, for those of you who have gone to college, you know, attended a university or college or what have you, how many times did you change your major before you finally got to what it is that you found interesting, that you found exciting, and where you spent the bulk of your tuition and fees in? And that's so important. And going back a few steps and doing this career exploration and allowing the students to find their niche and what works and what doesn't work. Heard one student saying, you know, I'm not really into, you know, veterinary medicine, but it's just as important to know what you don't like and what you're not going to pursue as it is to what you're going to pursue. So I appreciate that. And I want to ask this question to those of you on the call here. You know, how many of you all had that student who said, you know, the reason that I come to school is because of your class or because of this particular pathway? You know, that's what it's all about. You know, we find that in CTE, a good number of students who maybe, you know, are on the outline, if you will, there. But it's that CTE, it's that hands-on connection with academics that makes it exciting for them and makes them want to come. So I appreciate the presentation this morning. Thanks to the teachers, thanks to the administration, thanks to the school, and especially thanks to the students. Well, welcome back, everybody. We are going to move right into our panel discussion with some outstanding presenters that we have with us this morning. During your breakout rooms, you know, that was a quick conversation and presentation, but your comments and your questions, your wonderings are welcomed. And this is an opportunity for anything that may not have been able to be answered just because of time, that we invite you to do that as well. So what I'd like to do, because not everyone moved into the various rooms, is to start with just some brief introductions. And I'll start with Terry Alves, who is with us all the way from Sacramento with California Department of Education. And she is here to speak with us about CTE funding. So Terry, if you would just give a brief introduction to yourself.
My name's Terry Alves. Like
Like she said, I'm from Sacramento and I've been a teacher since 1988, so a long time, and I've taught everything from adult education to kindergarten up through 12th grade. So independent study, home hospital, science. So I've done a lot of things. I've been with CTE now 6 full years. This is my 7th. So it's been really great working all throughout the state on career technical education.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. And let's see, Raina. This is Raina Flores Hansen. And Raina, would you please introduce yourself and your special guest?
Yes, I'm Raina Flores Hansen, and I've been with LACO for now 3 months, since January 5th. And I've had a wonderful experience. It's a great place, but I did leave my heart in Norwalk, and I really appreciate all the support. You know, if you know your love when you can just reach out and get support. And today I had the most amazing support from Tony Nahali. He's a director of risk management at Norwalk La Mirada. And the reason why he's helping me co-host is he and I opened up ACEs and all the after-school programs and childcare in September, but he opened up the rest of the schools and our secondary middle schools Monday. So it's very, very, very current, and I'm excited to have him. Tony, would you mind maybe saying a little more about yourself?
Well, thank you for the introduction and the invitation. I've been in Norwalk La Mirada for 17 years. And as Raina mentioned, when we opened the after-school program, well, the daycare, that was an operation from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. And it ran very well and COVID safe. So I know we can do this. Our elementary schools have been open for 4 weeks now. And we, like Raina said, we opened the secondary schools this past Monday. All is going well. Plan to work and work to plan, but thank you.
Excellent. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And then Roland Bud Johnson.
Yeah,
And
Roland.
Introduce yourself.
Roland and Judd are not able to join us. They have a 3-hour drive before they get to the airport. So I'll be representing Paxton Patterson.
So Gabe, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So very quickly, I'm a retired school superintendent from Oxnard Union, and we've done a lot of work in CTE and STEM. And I've been supporting as a consultant with Paxton Patterson. And I've learned so much about their programs. And it's just, as you've seen, those who were able to join us, you know, there's a lot there for kids. And then the world of work is rapidly changing. Our world of education also has to change. So I'm really thankful for LA County Office of Education and Raina and Gina for hosting this. So thank you very much.
Absolutely, absolutely. And with those introductions, let's get started. So we've had some great questions and comments in the chat here. And let's start with just a couple of these here. And if you have a question or comment, please put it in the chat, or feel free to unmute yourselves. I think we have a safe number of folks on the line here that we can do that with. So let's start off. We began this morning with a virtual walkthrough of a school that is using the using the labs there. And as we're looking at how that works, we heard from students who basically are almost on a carousel, if you will, exploring different types of careers and different types of these modules that highlight those. Let's see what we have over here in the chat. It says here, and again, if you have a question, feel free to unmute yourself and direct it at one of the panelists here. We have here, let's see as I'm scrolling down. It says it's so exciting to see students being prepared for real world experiences. It says this one here, and this is a question that I'm going to address it now, but for those of you who have questions specific to credentialing, we have Dr. Nancy Wagner, who is going to be with us this afternoon. So you're welcome to jump in. Gabe, I believe you answered this question a little bit, but let's touch on it again. It says, do instructors have credentials in multiple industry sectors to match the modules? And if not, how does an engineer instructor answer student questions about nursing?
That's a really good question. First of all, it depends on every state. Okay, every state has different credentialing laws. And so for California, for example, at the 7th and 8th grade level, you do not have to have a CTE credential. You have to have a CTE authorization. So in the secondary level, the high school, if you're teaching a health course, then you need to have a health credential. And if you have an engineering course, you have to have obviously a math credential. So, but at the middle school, you don't have to have those specialized single subject credential. There are ways to become, to get your authorization. So I think there's a lot of flexibility, and in the chat, I believe Marianne Bland put down the code that you can use on CalPads to be, I think it's 9556. Is that right, Terry?
I had it on my slide. Let me get it. It is a 9236.
I was way off. Sorry.
9236, and it's a course that not over 50%.
Right.
Because our middle school courses are so integrated to core,
Right.
they don't tip the scales over to a CTE sole classroom.
Right, because it's an exploratory program where you have, anywhere between, depending on how many modules there are that in the classroom for a year, you're never going to cover over 50% of any one single topic. So hopefully that answers that question.
Thank you. Raina, this is a question, I believe, for you and for Tony. It says, during a traditional school year, non-pandemic, what is the maximum class size and how long are the modules? And actually, and this is two-part, the other part would be for you, Gabe. How long are the modules, and is this an elective wheel? So 2 parts to this question.
Well, actually, I think that's a Paxton Patterson question.
Sure, I'd be more than happy to answer
Yeah.
that. So first of all, yes, it is an exploratory wheel, and it depends. In the perfect world, you have 2 weeks to complete an instructional module and 2 kids working together, and they rotate every 2 weeks. Now, some students may take longer, but that's the way it is set up.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Terry, here's a question specific to you. Is there a new round of middle school academy foundation grants? Any updates with that?
Yeah, there's going to be a cohort 5, and that will come out like in August and September. So we're going to be on the same kind of round that we were for cohort 4. We had a little hiccup with cohort 3 and 4. They both went out in the same year. So we're going to catch that up. So cohort 5 going out 21-22 school year, and that'll be planning.
Wonderful. Thank you. Now, here's a question for our panelists, and everyone can chime in on this one. I think this is a great question. This comes from Michael Teasdale. We're talking about CTE. We're talking about these modules and these wonderful programs and so forth. How do we get this word out to the students and the parents? How do we promote CTE with that particular group? I see a hand, Terry.
So one of the things that I have found that has been really amazing in the field is getting the high school students. And if you haven't already done so, look up Lighthouse Academies under California Partnership Academies, and AGS, the agricultural programs, even if you don't think your area has one, because there's it's called CTSOs. Career Technical Student Organizations, and talk about a way to get the word out. They offer leadership, and the parents and the students and the communities are so involved, and they will come out and be at your carnivals. They'll be at your back to school nights. They'll be at your career exploration nights. So again, involve your career technical student organizations and your high school partners.
Yeah, I could also just piggyback on that formerly middle school counselor. Get your counselors involved. They need to do open house, and especially now with with all the access we have on the videos that the students make, making sure that they're out there. So it really comes down to marketing. You want these parents to see this academy or this pathway, these programs, this, I mean, everywhere they go, they see students productive and engaged, because we're in a whole, our parents do what the kids want. So it's not the way it used to be. So as long as you get these kids to want this and they're exposed to it, they're going to be mom, dad, you got to go. I want you to see my project. And that's how it really, I've seen amazing things just in the promotion as they see that everybody gets involved. It just needs to get out there.
So I would say that one of the things and the best way to really understand how careers work and project-based learning and career exploration is to actually go visit a classroom, just like we did virtually. And we've done that prior to COVID. Well, this experience today allows anyone from any city, any county, to actually join this presentation. And thank you very much for the county for allowing other counties in California and elsewhere to view this, because if you heard these kids, and I'm sure those of you who are on the line heard these kids articulate the way they did, and you get a chance to walk around and see it, it's like anything else. We are accustomed to a traditional way of teaching driven by colleges and universities, the A through G requirement. And so it's no longer college, it's college and career. And there are so many great opportunities in watching and seeing the college and career labs, that ones that you saw today. So my suggestion is we coordinate efforts with the county office, with the school district, even if they don't have these kind of programs, to set up an opportunity where we do something virtual like this. And guess what? This is being recorded. So we have the link. So any parent, any community member that wants to see what this looks like and hear teachers and superintendents and students articulate why they are so appreciative of this program, this is a great way of doing it. We are living in a post-COVID world where remote learning, remote work, people don't have to get in their cars and drive to work anymore if they can. And remote learning has certainly challenged and helped us to move forward. So we have a great opportunity for others to see what we're experiencing right here in a remote learning environment. So share this link, and I'd be more than happy to work with anyone to set up a visit. We're having 2 other visits, one on Rancho Minerva, which is located in Orange County, on May 6th, and then another one in Northern California on May 13th. Very similar model where we walk into the classroom and listen to students, because who's your best salesperson? It's not the teacher, it's not the superintendent, it's the students. And when you hear students really articulate the way these students have, that's really what sells parents and others in the community. I hope that answers that question.
Thank you, Gabe. Now, I want to bring Tony into this conversation. Tony, you have a very unique perspective, one that I think has many of us sitting on the edge of our seats. Would you mind giving us an overview of, we've got these we know what we want to do. What are some considerations that we should be mindful of, schools should be mindful of as they move forward?
Communication, of course. I know our district didn't, but some districts prepared almost like a welcome back video, and they showed parents and as well as staff what the school would look like when they came back after being gone since March. So that was one way to ease the anxiety. But also, it's not super complicated. We used the honor system for the wellness screening initially, but we've just recently switched to an app. So parents and staff members will get a reminder every morning at 5:30. Do you have a fever? Do you have a new cough? If you answer all the questions correctly, you get a green check mark, and then you can go to school or go to work. although that's not required. As Raina and I worked on preparing staff for that first day, it's good to do some practice runs. Make sure you know how parking is going to work, the paths of travel. Just make sure everyone's ready for this. Once you see it, you can see it's going to work. We did put the 3-sided plexiglass shields on every desk, even though those weren't required. We stayed with the 6-foot spacing, even though CDC and California said you could go to 3 feet. One thing that gets confusing is the rules were changing like every week, and it was hard to keep up. And then the CDC would make a rule, but then California may or may not follow. And then if California does, LA County may or may not follow. So just trying to keep track of all 3 was kind of overwhelming. And as Raina mentioned, the rules changed yesterday, and we're going to be in the yellow tier probably next Tuesday. So you've got to be flexible, but just rehearse your plan. And then once people see it, it works. Everything that we're doing works. There were some things that took some money. We put a HEPA filter in every classroom. We went to the no-touch water for hand washing and the no-touch paper towel dispensers. So there were some retrofits that did take some work. Had to rent some of those portable hand washing stations for classrooms that didn't have a lot of sinks. So just walk to campus, have the checklist with you, see what you need to do, and get working on it.
All right, thank you, Tony. Thank you.
You're
So I want to open it up. So what questions do we have from our participants on the line here that our panelists can address?
Hi, my name is Michael Golden. I'm with Los Angeles Unified. I apologize if this question was answered earlier, but I didn't catch it. I understand the Utah school has had this lab in place for 2 years. How long has the lab been active in any school? What's the longest term?
Thank you for your question. Typically, we've had labs last over 10 years. Now, the best answer I can give you is that technology changes very rapidly. So we're always repurposing, we're always trying to reinvent the labs and bring them up to speed. Let me give you a perfect example. The flight simulator, the robotics, and also the drones, especially the drones, those are fairly new. So whenever technology advances and the workplace environment changes and new technology is put out there, we are doing a very good job of adapting and bringing instructional units to align with the new workforce. And I think our team is really in tune to that. I hope that answers that question.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Other questions, comments in the chat? We're talking funding, we're talking reopening, and we're talking about some the college and career pathways. What does that look like?
May I ask this question? What do you see would be your inhibitors as to why, or what are some of the challenges you see in your district or your school where you're not able to transition in the college career ready environment or CTE? I know that as a superintendent, it's always challenging. The questions are always about, funding and space and professional development, but every district, every school is different. If you were able to do something like this and transition to a different model, because you have to, the world of work is changing. So we have to adapt our schools to the new world of work. What is it that you need to do to help move either your district or your school to go in this direction? What are some of the obstacles you're seeing that maybe we can answer for you here?
Gabe, it's Mike Golden again. To ask you a question regarding that. Since you said the labs have been in place for about 10 years, are there any college and career ready statistics on high school graduates that have gone through the middle school lab programs?
You know, that's a really good question. And part of the challenge that we have is privacies and being able to access district data systems. And so we really can't. A lot of it really is anecdotal. You know, I will tell you that everyone here knows that when a student graduates from high school, and that really great special day, they're asked two questions. And those two questions are, and you know what they are: what school are you going to go to, what university are you going to go to, and what are you going to major in? And the biggest challenge that we all know is that when kids go to school and mom and dad write that big check, and then after the first semester, the student says, gee, I don't know if I really like it here. I really don't know if I like my major. What we're trying to get parents and community to recognize is that let's get these kids exposed early so they have a better understanding of what they like, what they don't like, not just what Uncle Harry is an engineer, so I want to be an engineer type thing, or dad was in the, you know, in the medical field, and that's what I want to do. So I wish I could give you some hard data. I just know that the pipeline from middle school to high school is now clearly defined, and kids can make choices to go to the and enter the career pathway of their choice based upon their experience at the middle school.
Real quick, I just want to mention, while there might not be any studies that I'm aware of, and I work in this, you know, genre with middle schools, there's a big body of data that supports the California Partnership Academy model, where kids are part of a CTE pathway in the high school, and their graduation and attendance rates. And we actually do keep yearly reports on all of those academies that are funded with state funds. So that data has been ongoing for over 30 years, and you can access that on our website. So again, that starts really kind of 9 through 12, but you know, it's pretty clear.
Thank you for that. Questions. We're talking middle schools. So how many on the call, because I don't want to assume anything, and sometimes we have a crossover, have middle school programs or part of a middle school program. Either you're at a middle school site or you're at a district office where you are involved in that. I want to see what that balance looks like. Just a show of hands would be great.
Someone has their hand raised too. There's a coach that has their hand raised.
Is that Coach Austin?
Yes.
Yes. Hi, how are you? I did have a question regarding partnering or having conversations with community colleges. Since there is the new World of Works programming that they're looking at bringing in, as well as the process of CTE for certificates, and working that piece or folding it in so that way students who leave middle school have a higher percentage rate of going in possibly for dual enrollment for the purpose of utilizing that aspect.
That's a good question. In CCPT Grant, there was a consortium grant where community colleges had to partner with their surrounding areas, and that has proven, as I've seen time and time again throughout the state, those community colleges that receive that grant are really working closely, and there's a lot of dual enrollment and concurrent enrollment, and I've seen it go all the way down into the 8th grade. But you would have to start with your areas. There's some areas up north, I know for a fact, that are really having some barriers getting those kids involved. It's a regional kind of issue. But your CTE coordinator at the district level should definitely be able to help you with that.
Thank you, Terry. Other questions, comments for our panelists?
I did notice that Casey asked about A through G and how we combine, how parents want the students to go to AP courses in the high schools. It's in the middle schools because we have the usually the wheel or a way to allow all students to enjoy the different pathways. It's the articulation with your high schools are very important, because when they get their interests, let's say Project Lead the Way or engineering, and they walk into those to the higher level honors classes in the AP, the pathway goes with them. So that's where a lot of your high school articulation with your middle schools comes in, and it is really important. Project Lead the Way is one that I've always enjoyed working with, and they go straight on to Cal Poly Pomona. There's a huge articulation there. So that would be my recommendation.
Great question. Thank you for that, Coach Austin. Now, let me ask this question to our panelists, and you all can continue to please to share your questions in the chat here. Was there anything that you wanted to share with your audience, but you didn't have time to during your breakout room? This is a question to the panelists. Anything that you wanted to share during your presentation, but just didn't have time to do so?
I don't think I did share it in my panel, but I think it's important for everyone, especially in the state, in where we are right now, as far as the world reopening, is social emotional learning needs to be a part of everything we do. Our company, our industry, they're recognizing that a solid, the more we do for the social emotional piece for our employees or for our students, it makes a huge difference on the success and the effectivity, just all around person. So as you know, as we look at our CTE pathways, as we look at reopening, just kind of take a moment to add that, just that little special SEL training, or whatever you can do for the teachers, reminding them to breathe. I know these are soft skills that we never really addressed before, but now it really needs to be in the forefront in everything we do. So I just want to make sure that I just put that last plug in there. And if you have any questions, we would be more than happy to help with that.
Absolutely, Raina. That is a tantamount to importance right now, is that social emotional health portion for our students and for ourselves as well, and making sure that we are on a level that is allowing us to function and to move forward in everything that we do. So thank you for bringing that up. Anyone else?
I'd like to add on Raina's comment. Social emotional learning is huge, especially after kids being not in school and disconnected and not being able to see their friends and participate in activities. I think the biggest factor of these kinds of hands-on activity is engagement, student engagement. If you take a look at the remote learning statistics, and I don't have it right to the student, but what I've heard is some of the students, not a lot, but some of the students have not been engaged, have not maybe logged in remotely. And so we've lost a lot of, I don't like to say the word learning loss, but they haven't been connected to their learning. We have got to get these kids liking school again, engaging in school. We need kids in school, connecting with their friends, with their teachers. So engagement is really part of social emotional conditions of learning. And when kids come to school, they do these kind of programs, they tend to like school, and they tend to learn from other subject matters as well. And they connect the dots between what they're learning in math and science and English and so on to these programs. So I would say along the line with social emotional learning, we have got to get kids highly engaged, wanting to come to school. It's going to increase our ADA, which obviously supports funding. But more importantly, we have got to redesign schools where kids feel like they like school. And this is a perfect time to do that as we reopen school. We have got to get them connected to the learning.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I see.
Well, along with that, I want to kind of dovetail in to get students engaged. You really need to engage teachers. And I think with these modules, teachers are excited about what they teach. I know professional development for teachers I always like to do a little shout out to, I have a contract with High Tech High that does a lot with equity work and project-based learning and integrating CTE in everything that they do, because what is the end result of every core course, we utilize that in some way in the world of work. So again, I think we have to motivate and engage our teachers, and by doing that we need to provide, you know, high quality professional development. And the great part about CTEAG and Perkins and all of the funding that I use with the middle school academy grants, that's a perfect opportunity to use those funds to help motivate our teachers so they can in turn engage our students.
Thank you for that, Terry. So as we begin to close out this session, final comments, final words to share with the audience here, pearls of wisdom, experiences, etc. And I see
Michael has something to say, I think.
I see Michael has his hand up. Michael, yes, sir.
Yeah, hi, I'm Michael Teasdale from Ventura County Board of Ed. I just wanted to mention something that people don't, that I found. I used to work in industry, both in Europe and the United States. And when we hired someone who went up a technical pathway, you know, high school, the equivalent of high school, maybe 1 or 2 years, there's really an important thing to employees is that because those kids went into usually internships and learned the technology and how to apply it, then went back to theory and did that a couple times, they learned how to learn. They learned how to go through tech change. And if that isn't one of the most key skills for the future work, workforce, I don't know what is. And it's a key skill that a lot of employees are looking for. Can you read an SOP? Can you apply it? You know, can you actually give feedback to develop a new SOP? Very concrete skills, but very key to a lot of jobs in the future. And I think, at least my experience with technical ed in Europe is it gives that type of benefit to the graduates of any pathway.
Can I respond to that?
Yes, Gabe, go right ahead.
Michael, you're absolutely right on point. One of the things that we have kind of gone away from is, why are kids going to school? Well, they're going to school to not really go to college, but eventually find a career that they love and enjoy and support a family. And as you mentioned, the world of work and the skill sets that are needed and the ability to adapt to change, my goodness, take a look at everything that business and people in the world have had to adapt. Our ability to adapt, whether you're a teacher or whether you're a student, to the changing times really defines who we are. And because of the changing workforce and the skills, it's not just project-based learning that's critical, it's project management. Project management is one of the most underrated skills that we do not teach students. How do you manage a project? So each one of these units is a project that they have to manage from start to finish, which is exactly what employers are asking for and need in the skill sets. There are a lot of jobs out there that go unfilled because employers cannot find students with the appropriate skills. So right on, and I think Michael hit it right on the head. Thank you, Michael.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we can't be, that speaks also to, and I think this is great at that middle school level to start with, are those soft skills. We talk about it all the time. We hear it from our industry partners, in addition to what Mr. Teasdale shared, those basic soft skills, looking folks in the eye, shaking hands, those things that we take for granted because we're a little seasoned, if you will, but an opportunity to put all that together and bring that to the table for our students. So we have a few more minutes, closing thoughts. Tony? Terry?
Well, with the soft skills and the leadership and the project management, with that discussion, I just want to again plug the CTSOs, because those go all the way down into the middle grades. And I just cannot tell you, time and time again, if any of you have ever been to Educating for Careers, the conference that we put on every year, usually in February or March, and you listen to the students that are speaking on how the CTSOs have transformed their lives, not just the career technical aspect of it, but the actual organization with the leadership and the learning how to look people in the eye and speak in public and raise money and budget and, you know, like Gabe was talking about project management. I just can't say enough good things. I wasn't part of a CTSO, but I've seen it now firsthand for years now. So again, if you're trying to start a middle school program, CTE, reach out to our CTSOs. And I have some, I've got all the state leadership names if you want to email me, and I can give you that information.
And speaking of which, Terry, would you be so kind? I'm not sure if you've done it already, Gabe, I just saw you. Would you put your contact information? This is for all of our speakers, to put your contact information in the chat. And so everyone can reach out to you. And again, you'll receive this PowerPoint presentation as well as the recording. And we'll be sure to include that information as far as their contact information as well. But in the here and now, if you'd be so kind as to do that, that would be most appreciated. Most appreciated. And
I see.
Oh, go ahead, Terry.
Oh, I just see a comment about a link to the CTSOs. We don't have a link. I have I've got a document that I can send you. It's actually PDF. So it's not a link, but if you email me, I will give you that PDF.
Michael, we can connect you with all those resources. I just want to follow up. You know, you don't have to solve this all by yourself. There are a lot of great resources. You can email me, Raina, Gina. We're here to support you in your mission. So I know it's a challenge sometimes that you think, wow, this is a big project. It can be done. Other school districts are getting done. We're here to help. So don't feel that you have to do this by yourself. Once schools open up, hopefully soon next year, where they'll allow visitors, we will go back and return to live, because I know it's a little bit different when you go live, but use this as a resource. That's probably my greatest comment and my closing comments.
Thank you, Gabe. Thank you, Gabe. Tony?
No, I learned a lot listening to the conversations going on here. Interestingly, this school year is pretty much over in about a month. When we reopened, about 45% of the parents opted to stay with distance learning. And it may be because we were so close to the end of a school year, why change now? But we're all hoping for normal school in the fall.
Great, thank you, thank you. Well, I'd like to encourage everyone to look in the chat, because there's been some great resources that have been planted there already. So please take full advantage of those and reach out. As was shared, you know, you have a wealth of resources here on this call, not just with us, but with each other. So please connect with one another, continue to reach out with us. I want to thank everyone on our panel today. So much for being with us and for sharing your pearls of wisdom and your experiences. And helping everyone here to be enlightened, be encouraged as we move through and maneuver through this new way of learning and thinking and doing. So thank you so much. Rounds of applause there, virtual rounds of applause there for you. Now, with everything that was said here, here's what I always like to put back. And again, we talk about it. We've got resources here. You've got resources amongst each other. What is it that is going to be placed into action? I know many of you, your wheels are spinning already. You've got some ideas, some things are happening. You're like, okay, I'm going to do this and that. I want to put that into your spirit if it's not there already, as far as what can I do? It's one thing to talk about it. It's a whole nother thing to be about it. And so, you know, if you would like to share some things here in the chat as I continue through this, we'll be looking at those. But more so than that, take it with you. Plant that seed, watch it grow, and bear the fruit from it. So that is the reflection into action piece that I'd like to leave with you here. We could not have done any of this without, and I have to give a big shout out to our CTE team at LACO. And you may have spoken with one or more of these folks here, but just know that when we talk about, you know, resources and so forth, we're here to serve. That's what it's all about on behalf of the students. That's what it's all about. So here are the information, what do you call it? The emails and so forth and phone numbers. Reach out to us. You'll receive this also with the PowerPoint. So as we close today, Raina, some parting words that you have?
Well, I just want to thank everybody for being a part of this, and especially for taking the time to find to educate yourself on what more you could do for your middle school kids. I mean, you know, their ears are kind of not the same, and they're a little awkward, and you know, they yell at each other, but they're only, you know, this close to each other. They're the most beautiful transitional things I've ever seen in my life. But I know one thing: when you ask a middle school kid, what do you want to do when you grow up, and that kid has an answer, their chances of that success is 1,000-fold. So if we can just make that impact where kids have a vision of a pathway or an idea, I guarantee you, because I saw this firsthand, they will be the ones that the top 10 kids as the graduating class. So what you do makes a difference. And thank you.
It definitely does. Thank you, Raina. Thank you so much. I want to just give a little blurb here, and this is not a shameless plug. This is a great plug. I got it in the chat, a little memo here to change the date on the slide that you have here. And this slide is actually a tease. The date rather is for another important webinar that we have that's coming up. And it ties all of this together. And it is our Symposium on Diversity and Equity and Inclusion and Access, bringing these programs, bringing these resources to those students that need it the most. So that's happening on May 19th. So I know what today is, and forgive me for that, but thank you for sharing that. So on that note, everybody, thank you so much for being with us this morning. We appreciate your time. We appreciate the space that was shared, and we look forward to seeing you again in the very near future. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.